Hello, myself Hrugvi. Today I'm going to speak about the Feynman's technique. So Feynman's technique is effective for learning and to understand it deep and to help students for studying it in a better way. So there are three steps in the Feynman's technique. In the first step, you have to choose a topic and you have to first understand that topic, and after you are done with understanding it, take a piece of paper, add a subject of the topic on the top of the paper, and then start learning it and start writing it down whatever you know about the topic. So the second step is just pretend that you are teaching someone, you're teaching someone else, and write it down as an explanation of your teaching method, and then read it by loud, and where you still have like confusion or something, then you should do it back again. So by the end of the second step, you will understand that wherever you have wherever you stuck or there is some gaps in your learning, so you can recover it again before entering the third step. So in third step, finally you have to do it in a more simply way. Whatever you have written, you just have to correct it in a language. Like, you have to make the language very simple. You can use analogs, and you can just read the topic step by step again. But during this step, even if you don't understand anything, that means you are still confused in that topic. So go back and do it again until you have mastered it. So the next topic is about the studying tips. So our brain can potentially memorize up to 2.5 petabytes, which is approximately 13 million YouTube videos, like going through the 13 million YouTube videos. So to use this superpower more effectively, here are some 13 tips which were discovered by some neuroscientists. So the very first tip is the spaced repetition. This means that you should maximize your learning skill. This clearly states that you should study in a short time, but you should study more. Like, study short but study often. So some students just study for long hours, like 6 hours, 7 hours, and that doesn't mean that they are actually studying it. That is according to them, whatever they do while this maximum amount of time, but it's sure that they don't study. So maximize your time and do according to your time. So the next topic is about the studying tips, which are divided into the 13 steps. So your brain is actually a superpower, and it can potentially memorize up to 2.5 petabytes, which is approximately, you compare it with the 13 million YouTube videos. So to use this superpower very effectively, there are some ways and there are some 13 tips which you can use in your daily basis. So the very first tip is the repetition. This is like, study short but study very nicely, and this is by doing your studying level at the maximum level. Just maximize your study level. Study it in very short time, but study more effectively. Studying long time doesn't mean you are actually studying it. I don't know, some people just use 6 to 8 hours for studying and they end up doing nothing. So you have to study in short time, but we have to study very good, because there are many synapses happening in your brain, and this results in like you are learning something. And just do one thing. We should always study at night. Many scientists have proved that just study something 15 minutes before sleeping, and if you do it on a daily basis, you would really get positive results after few months. And this is because if you study at morning and you have the test at the evening, so if you study at night, that would be more effective in your test than you would study in the morning, because you're waking up, you're feeling dizzy, you're feeling drowsy, and while you sleep, you're not that drowsy, but when you wake up, you are more drowsy. So the third topic is the third tip is about finding your own style. See, everyone is different and everyone has its own way of studying. So maybe you have a different sitting posture, just stick to it. Maybe you love watching videos while learning, so stick to it. Do whatever you love while studying, even if it's something using an electronic device or something. But in the end, you're going to make it. And the fourth one is a good night's sleep. To process new information, you need an ample and perfect amount of sleep for at least 6 to 7 hours, and this is very important to process new information. And the fifth one is to focus. So the main thing about focusing is just stop procrastinating. See, procrastinating happens with everyone, and you may get used to it if you don't break this until you are in your university schools. Don't stop procrastinating, you won't get a right focus in whatever you are doing. And the sixth is the Pomodoro technique. So, Pomodoro technique is nothing but you have to set a timer for at least 25 minutes and stick to those minutes that you won't even do any interaction or any distraction would come into the 25 minutes of time, and this 25 minutes would be so intense, and that 25 minutes you would focus on whatever you are doing and just relax after this 25 minutes and just carry on with a new timer again. The seventh tip is hard stuff first. We often neglect whatever is difficult because we don't like facing whatever is difficult for us. So don't do that. Instead of moving on to the easy topic, just do the hard one first. So you would be relaxed with the easy one later on, and you can just do it in a more enjoyable way. But why this is said so because we often neglect this, and during the exams we almost forget about this topic. So if we do the hard stuff first, it would be more better. So the eighth tip is about the exercise, meditate, and converse. So to bring your concentration about the highest level, you have to meditate a lot. Not in the beginning, you may not be pro at it, but as time passes, you would be better. And exercise to clean your inner peace and your inner body. You have to exercise a lot. The ninth one is go places. It means just change your environment, just shift your environment. Don't do if it's not comfortable, but just shift your classrooms. Maybe some students just do this experiment about the changing the classes, and some of them have positive results, but others have negative. And the 10th is take time or take the fun time very seriously. So your positive emotions are very important in learning. So take this fun very seriously and have a good time. The 11th is about space your studies. This means just when you complete one session of your studying, just repeat those things again to remember it for a longer time. And do this with every subject and about the every topic you study. Just repeat the things to memorize it in a longer way. And the 12th is about the 30% read and 70% recite. So, example, if you're preparing for a speech or for a poem, spend 20 minutes on practicing the text and spend the another remaining 40 minutes for practicing the actual recite. So this is a perfect ratio for remember this thing in a longer, and it may give you the positive results. And the last one is about the instant self test. After you complete anything studying, just test yourself. Go with MCQs, ask yourself questions, use internet. There are many questions available. So in this way you can test yourself. So the next thing about the two type of learning. So there are two types. The first one is the focused learning. The second is the diffused learning. So focused learning is something you have been looking for it, and you have been paying a very much attention and doing it in a very better way, trying so hard to understanding the topics. And whereas the diffused learning is something that you are just letting all the topics go easily, and you're just wandering somewhere else, or you're just relaxing your time after focusing a lot. So let me tell you that this both of the ways are very important, because to maximize your learning you have to put on a cycle of focus relax. If you do this, you may not feel more stressed while learning, and this may result in a better results. And this is the focus learning should be off, like all the distractions, your distractions should be off. You are on the phase of focused learning, just switch off all the distractions whatever are in your surrounding, and just focus in your main time. Maybe this time would be of 35 to 20 minutes, and the relaxing time would be for 10 minutes. So while on relaxing time you can wander any thoughts, but during a focus time you have to be away from the distractions. And this technique is really helpful while on the tests too. You are on the phase of focused learning, just switch off all the distractions whatever are in your surrounding, and just focus in your main time. Maybe this time would be of 35 to 20 minutes, and the relaxing time would be for 10 minutes. So while on relaxing time you can wander any thoughts, but during a focus time you have to be away from the distractions. And this technique is really helpful while on the tests too. So the next topic is about the experimental learning and how we learn the things naturally. So there is one example about a small child. When he is a 1 year old, no one teaches him to walk. He just walks by his own way, and that is the time when his coordination skills develop. And experimental learning is something that we learn new skills, or we be better at something we do loving, and this is just slowly growing your skills naturally, and something that no one is insisted you or no one teached you. The next topic is about the process oriented learning. So the learning argues that you get better at something and focus on the process, and learning is not something as an outcome, that is actually the product. And to optimize your learning skills, just set a timetable fixed in a day for about 30 to 20 minutes, or if you are more good at it, you can just set up to the 40 to 45 minutes. And just fix what you're going to do. If you want to cover a chapter, just don't do it like completely, don't cover up the complete chapter, just do half of it, what is important. And then when you finish with the 25 minutes, then stop it, and then you can just relax and you can carry on with the topic again. So just in this 25 minutes, stay with the complete focus and stop procrastinating. So that's all from my side.
Hello sir, I am Aniket Badal Singh Rajput from second group, sub-group first. As my friend Hrugvi explained 5 topics related to learning new language and anxieties, I would like to explain some new points, some new contents here. So my topics are 7 ways to learning new language, exam anxiety, the science of learning and fear, chunking, learning techniques of matter, memories and understanding, learning with passion and enthusiasm, deliberate practice, achieving mastery in anything. So, as my first point, the 7 ways to learning new language. It firstly increases the focus on remembering and learning the sound first. Learning a new language when you were a kid seems much easier. Well, there is an expression for that. Babies have a remarkable ability to distinguish all sound in all language and remember them faster. That's how we become expert in our native language. Yet, as we grow older, we lost this amazing ability to remember and distinguish sound. For example, when the adult Japanese student find it challenges to distinguish L and R sound in the English language. Second, use the spaced repetition technique. Spaced repetition is an oldiest but a goodies. When it comes to language learning tricks, it helps you memorize new words better. To practice it, you have to review each words and phrases you have learned with the certain space interval. At first, those should be better. You may need to review a new word or phrases a few times during one practice lesson, and afterward on the next day. Once it gets stuck in your mind, well, you will be able to live days or even week between revise without forgetting that what you have learning. And the third, try to pinch yourself Hank. This technique was introduced by the Manish Sethi, a frequently travel who mastered 4 foreign languages as an adult. His approach was based on the fact that negative stimuli massively boost self improvement. According to the study conducted by the Department of Psychology and Center of Neuroscience at New York, your body's threat response improve memory. In their test, this means light electric shock gives for incorrect responses. Fourth, means schedule learning session before bedtime. One of the huge benefit of sleep is that it allows us to clean our active operation memory, those boosting our learning capacity. Studying before bedtime or getting a nap after your practicing session, you will move all the information you have just learned into your brain's long-term memory storage. And the 5, the study the content, not the language. According to the result of a study published in the Cambridge Journal, students who study another subject in French rather than attending a journal language class perform better in listening tests and were more motivated to learn. However, students in the standard class perform better on the reading and writing test, meaning that both approaches clearly have merits. To boost your language learning, try including some contents on the topic you are interested into improving your understanding, reading articles online, watch video, or listen to podcasts to accelerate your progress. 6. Mix old and new world. Our brain always wants novelty, but attempting to learn a lot of new words at the once can be overwhelming. Thus, to remember new concepts, you should mix them with your familiar old information. For example, you can attempt reading a children's book you know in foreign language. The language is a simple enough, and knowing the story help you guessing the meaning of new words without using the dictionary. It has mixing with noise and old information. Besides, children's books are more funny to read another, and we couldn't forget this. This is the old best technique to remind us to study the new language. 7. Study in the spirit. Sprint finding time to study a new language can be challenging. If you are boosting, you may be attempt to put out your study and cramp a significant chunk in of knowledge inside your head every other week. Yet studying in a short sprint every day is much more effective. As our brain has limited inbox space, which get cleared out while we sleep, you will hit your study limit rather quickly if you opt to study for hour at the time. Studying in small spirit every day and using spread repetition will give you the best result. And the 10th way to overcome the as my second topic, exam anxiety, the science of learning and the fear. Here I would like to explain the 10 ways to overcome the test anxiety. Has this ever happened with us, with you, and with all the peoples? You have been studying hard for your chemistry or midterm or any section that we are the medical student. Now we are afraid from our anat, physio, histo. But when you walk into your exam, your mind goes to blank. As you sit down to start your test, you notice your sweat palms and the pit in your stomach. If these classical signs of test anxiety sounds familiar, you grades the test score may not reflect your true ability. Learn ways to manage test anxiety before during the stressful test. What is test anxiety? So I would like to explain the format of anxiety in every section. Here we have the types for using the test. While it completely normal to feel a bit nervous before a test, some student final test anxiety, debilitating, uh, raising thoughts, inability to concentrate, or feeling of dread can combine with physical symptoms with a fast heartbeat, headache, and nausea. Whether it is a ACT and AP exam or an important history final test, anxiety has the power to derail weeks and a month of hard work. Test anxiety tips: be prepared. If we are seems too obvious, but it's beer repeating. If you feel confidence that give you prepared thoughty, that you will feel more confidence walking into the test. Need help reviving thoughts, concept or question type can prove that extra boost you need to feel and cool your collect. If we get the tips for reducing anxiety from the test, according to the ADAA, causing of test anxiety may include fear or failure, lack of adequate prepare time or experience taking taste in the past. You are not alone here. What you can do to stay calm in the days leading up to and during your test: get a good night's sleep. Creaming is never the answer, and pulling an all-nighter can exaggerate your nerves. Having adequate rest means 8 hours for the night is likely to be more beneficial than rereading a text until dawn. So third is the fuel up: eating a nutrient breakfast before the test and a fake smart snack for ongoing energy. Looks for food that offer a steady stream of nutrient rather than a sugar high followed by a crush. Fourth means to get a class or the testing site earlier. Feeling rushing will only arms of the anxiety. Pack everything you need for the exam the night before and set the alarm so you can get out the door on time. For have a positive mental attitude. This is the first thing to reduce the anxiety, to bringing a picture of your happy places or happy thoughts with a moral boosting mantra that I can do this test, I can win. So that's why read carefully, read the text, read the directions thought, and read all the answers before making a choice or starting the essay. There is a notice worse than putting time into a question and realizing you are not solving for x to y. Just start. The blank page can mixing your anxiety after you have read the direction. Dive writes by making an outline for an easy answer. Don't pay attention to what other people are doing and watch the clock. Chunking. As my third topic, chunking, learning technique of the better memory and understanding. In cognitive psychology, chunking is a process by which individual pieces of an information sets are broken down grouped together and then grouped together in a meaningful whole. The chunker by which the information is grouped is meant to improve short-term retention of the material, thus by passing the limited capacity of work memory. A chunk is a collection of basic familiar units that have been grouped together and stored in a person's memory. These chunks are able to be reviewed more easily due to their coherence familiar. It is believed that individuals create higher order cognition repetitions of the atoms with the chunks. The atoms are more easily remembered as the group that is the individual atoms themselves. According to Johns 1970, there are the four main concepts according to the memory. According to the memory process of chunking: chunk, memory coded and recoded. Chunk as a mentioned prior as a sequence to be remembered information that can be composed of adjacent terms. These items or information sets are to be stored in the same memory code. The process of recording is the same memory code. The process of recording is where one learns the code for the chunk, and decoding is when the code is translated into the information that is represented. The phenomenon of chunking is a memory mechanism is easily observed in the way individual group numbers and information in the day-to-day life. For example, when recalling numbers, if the numbers are grouped, the minimizing the create for this number as a day, month, and year, it will be stored as in any example that we should taking from our memory. We also has the chunking in the motor learning. Chunking in as a method of learning can be applied in the number of contexts and is not limited to learning verbal material in the class serial order. There are the ways to remember the methods. This was a demonstration in the motor control by the Rohans Burns at 1983. The sequence can consist of subsequential, and this can in turn consist of subsequence. Hierarchical representation of subsequent have an edge over linear representation. They combines effort, local action at a how hierarchies level, while maintaining the gradients of overall structures. Enthusiasm is the exhibility enthusiasm in the classroom. Enthusiasm will allow you study to be interested in all discuss and classroom made achievement. Speak in experimental ways, not to monotone style. Effective teaching should also maintain contact with their students at all the times. As my last topic for that section is deliberate practice. Deliberate practice refers to a special type of practice that is a purpose and systematic, while regular practicing might include mindness, repetitions. Deliberate practice requires focus, attentions, and is conducted with the special goal of improvement performance. I would like to add some points from my first section there, that is 7 ways to learning a new language effectively. It includes the immersion. If we immerse from the thing that we want to study, that we want to learn, meanings means remembering one word in different language. I will explain by the example of number. Scriptorium, the writing and exercise. It will be better way to remember. If we write more, we remind more. Shadowing, playing with the words, get a study buddy, and the learning by doing and learning by failure. So that's the conspect that I prepare for this session. If I take a mistake, so sorry for that, and thank you so much, sir.
Friends, I'm Shishir Chaudhary and I'm here to talk about some study materials like training your brain and how to study and like that. So my first part is Memory Palace. Memory Palace is basically a method in which we just came to know about how to remember things and how do memorizing works. It's basically one of the oldest method over amongst us, and it's very easy and very simple to memorize things for a long time. And basically it's just for memorizing facts, things, or a list like a shopping list or something. And so coming on to how it works, the first step is to close your eyes and just think about a familiar place which you knows very well, and like your house, your school, your college, or your classroom, something like that. And imagine it as like you are opening the door and start placing the things you which you want to remember. Like if you want to remember some numbers like 15, 19, 20, 21, 22, so just keep on placing it on the place you remember very well, like on the study table, like on the right wall, on the left wall, or something like that. Start placing it accordingly and you will get your thing in your own favorite memory storage. So when you try to remember that stuff now, you just have to close your eyes and open your door and start reviewing your places. So when you think about that place, you will came to remember about that number you have put in over that place. Like you close your eyes and you just think you put it that number 15 on that table, and you will automatically get that, yeah, on the table I have put it the number 15, and on the right wall I have put it number 7, something like that. So when you learn or mesmerize things like this now, it will make things easier and easy to learn. It will be there in your approximately permanent memory, and you will enjoy the learning. So coming to the next part, study smarter. Preparing very well for the exam and preparing for exam effectively. How it works like, before start studying now, put each and everything on your table, like your books, your notebooks, your textbooks, the teacher provided notes, the note you have taken in the class, and the teachers provided slides, and calculator, pen, pencil, all the tools which you required, and yes, some food and fruits in your refrigerator, so that you can, when you feel hungry, like you can get some snacks. And some more materials, you should cut down all distractions, like switching off your phone, laptop, and tell your friends to not to call to you while you are, because you are going to study. Like you are having left with the 7 days. So on the day one starts with getting a brain map. A brain map is like watching a syllabus or read the syllabus, so that you get a brain idea that how much you have to cover, and what to cover, and how to cover. And divide, like if you are having 10 chapters, then divide it into two. And you have some extra topics which you want to cover, or extra things which you have to revise. So divide it within the hours of the day, like you 3 hours I have to do this, and in 2 hours I have to do this, and in 1 hour I have to perform test, and something like that. Gather all the things and prepare a brain map on the day one. And then again, on when you finish whole task for the day two na, like what you have to read, what you have to learn, and then just take a test. It will be helpful to you, to your brain, and it will let you know that how much part you have retained in yourself. And then when you get appropriate marks now, then you will go to sleep, and sleep at least 4, not 4 actually, from 4 to 6 hours at least. It's the at least like 6 hours. You know what, sleeping increases the chance of 35% of remembering things in your permanent memory. So what you have to do on the day 3, 4, 5, 6 is just wake up, and you have to firstly do the thing is the thing you have made on the previous day. Like you are on the third day, and you prepared on the second day some notes. Read it first, then repeat the schedule of the day 2 which you have done on the day, like in starting on the day 3 or day 4, day 5, 6, 7. Like you just have to wake up first, and revise your previous day summary, like on the day 2, 3, 4, 5, every day summaries. And reviews your test, like on the last test, like you are on the day 3 and you gave the test on the second day. So you just have to review your the second day's test and check that where is the gap, and fill that gap within 1 hour or 2 hour maximum. Like fill that gap you just made previous days, and then again start the schedule of the day for your own day. Like prepare the notes, go for the book, go for the textbook, go for the slides and everything, and write the notes in your own handwritten style, in your own language. Then again go for the test, man. Go for the tests are the basic key to understand your mind and your retaining power. So coming to day 7, what you have to do is, like, it's the last day for your preparation, and tomorrow you are having exam. Just revise each and everything from day 1 to day 6, whatever you have prepared. Go for all the tests, and if you are comfortable now, just made an essay from day 1 to day 10, day 1 to day 7. And it will be easier for you if you just go for the context, what you have write in your own handwritten things. Just revise each and everything fast as you can. Just go for your each and every mistakes of the test, so that you don't commit in the exam. And you know what, at the end, just pack your bag and go to sleep early. Okay, have a light food and go to sleep early. Okay, on the day of exam now, wake up early, just have your healthy breakfast, because breakfast is much needed thing, so that it can provide energy to your brain to work functionally or appropriate in that crucial hour, so that it can provide energy. So have a healthy breakfast, like have some fruits, have some yogurts. It will help in you. And you know what, leave home early, like, so that you don't be in a chaos. And this will help, because if you are in a hurry now, there will be problems with your mind, and it gets exhausted, and many more things. And when you are sitting in the exam hall now, just read each and every question and divide the time to each question. Like, and if you are not getting the first question now, go for the second one. If you are not getting the second one, go for the third one, because while doing the easiest one now, you will get the answer. Your answer is being processed in the previous one. To the next part, effective practicing of the musical instruments. It involves all the areas of the brain. Music involves all the neurons, controls all the emotions and function of your brain. When you are practicing a musical instruments now, it includes like hearing, imagining, watching, thinking, and speaking. Each and everything, your whole system is working together. So your whole brain part is working together to make you learn, to make you think everything in a particular fashion. And it is divided into 4 steps. Learning musical instrument is divided into 4 steps. First part is practicing slow and mindful. What does it mean? Practicing slow means you have to practice very slowly so that you can understand each and every rhythm, each and every part, each and every melody. And what is mindful? Giving it each and every part of yours. Like, just submit to yourself to the music, then you will get the fullest of it. Then second part is keep it interesting. How to keep it interesting is all up to you. Like, one day you just play melancholy things, and the second day you just play a very rock song. It's work like that. So when you keep it interesting now, your mind won't exhausted from it. You will get whatever you want. Like, your mind will work appropriate towards it. It will supports you in your learning, in your enthusiasm. It supports you in everything. Your mind will work accordingly if you keep it in. And the third part is just practice the hardest first, then go for the easy. Like, when you study when you just practice the hardest part now, your mind will get practice to that. Like, when you hustle for hard thing now, the easy things are like this to you. Like, you just do it within a fraction of second. You can just go for the easiest one lately. But hardest thing takes time. Like, hardest things wants fullest of your mind, like 100% of yourself. And then go for the imagination. It is the fourth part. Imagination is the most important thing in learning musical instrument. If you can't imagine yourself in that situation or in that place, like, think like a bird. Like, you are a bird and you are singing. Think like a fish, you are swimming in the ocean, so that you can enjoy each and every part of the music. To the next part, Bloom's taxonomy. It is basically the structuring the learning journey. It consists of 6 steps from easy to hard. Like, first you remember, then you understand, then you apply, then you analyze, then you evaluate, and then you create. So remembering is just learn something, then make it. On the second step, you just make things understand, then apply it on the daily life, then analyze like how these things affects in your daily life, and then evaluate. You will get to evaluate the importance of the thing in your daily life or your nearby. And then you create it by your own self. Like, you create it for your own self or for someone else. And it was invented in 1946 by Benjamin Bloom, and according to him, it was just basic. Coming to the last part, the active learning. What is active learning? You know it very well. Like, having the active participation of the student or the learner in learning process. It's basically like, whether you remember the thing you have learned yesterday. The thing you have learned yesterday is still in your mind. Does it exist yet? It can be simply develop in a student by make him participate with others, or make him collaborate with others. And apply concept with the real world. It's like participating in active learning is basically like applying normal laws in the daily life. And when you go for this now, ask your mind, just to think. The two questions are, do I remember this or do I need to know this? The first thing. And the second thing is, can I understand? Like, if you understand things, like if you are having base for some things, your mind put that new knowledge on above that. Like if you are have the foundation for something, then you will have the top of that. Now you will have a firm thing about above them. But man, if you are not having this basement, then this knowledge is useless for your brain, so he automatically threw it away. So this will not remain in your brain. But if you need to know, like basically you just want to develop this knowledge first and then this knowledge, then this will be stored in your permanent memory of your brain. So work accordingly like this. And that's all from our